What's up, everyone? This is yours truly, Mr. Steven, aka The Legend, and you already know my pronouns, so I'm not going to say it. And welcome to the Steven Factors Love on the Spectrum, Bigger and Weirder. On this episode, I want to do something a little different, and I'm talking about one guy who really admired the most. And that guy was Steve Spitz. That's Steve Spitz, Spitz. And he became one of the first and the oldest cast member of the Love of the Spectrum in history. But not one, but 2 seasons. For the personal note, Steve Spitz is one of my main favorites of the show. Not of the rest of these young people talking about intimacy, relationship, or religion, or even politicals, or sex before marriage, or something like that. Steve Spitz is one of the OGs, and he's been diagnosed with autism for all his life. I don't know how long he had that, or it could be the early diagnosis when he was young, or the late diagnosis. But Steve still have that for a very long time. And like I said, the autism just came from the genetics, and he prouds of that. And he have his own care manager. He have his wonderful apartment for himself. He went on dates on the Love of the Spectrum, but he needs to keep focusing on himself. And I had to bring it up tonight about him, because Steve is very generous, very outspoken person, but also he wants to be himself, like a Mr. Rogers type. And just want to let you know, Steve appeared while filming the show of Love of the Spectrum in 2021 before the show aired a year later. He was only 64 years old. Today, he's nearly 67 or 68 years old. And I really love Steve because he is a guy who always understands. He is a guy who was very pleasant, and even his voice was completely amazed, like this. Imagine me and you, I do. I think is all we were. So happy together. I know Satan loving body but you for my life. Or she is wonderful. And even his excitement, like, you could see the expressions like, wow, that Steve really it is. That Steve really is, okay? He was been living as a resident in San Francisco. He really loves to go outside a bit, and if he trying to put on his black gloves. You can see the reason why he's putting on his black gloves, because due to the sensory situation about the germs, and trying to give a little protection himself in case he will get sick or not. But that's what he did, and that was the most important. So, for those of you who've been worried about him and we don't know where his whereabouts, let's see what he's been up to. Um, I will read this article first, and then I will give a little bit of response a little later. Um, so this article took place on Reality Shrine, and like I said, he's done for his 2 seasons. The article says on the title, he dearly missed, so here's everything Steve has been up to since Love of the Spectrum. We need him back next season at all costs. By Ellie Ring. And it's published from April 2nd of this year. That was 24 hours since April Fool's Day. I cannot tell you how much I miss Steve on Love of the Spectrum. These are her words. He's honestly one of the most wholesome cast members ever, and the fact he hasn't been invited back is actually criminal. And here's why. He doesn't want to be on the spotlight more often. Period. Wireless, he does keep fairly low public profile. Let's find out as much as we can about everything he's been up to since leaving the show. Steve occasionally posts this on Instagram account, and while it's more likes once in a blue moon, he revealed that he bought himself a new car. And that was a good ass car. Another person on Reddit recently reveals that they met Steven in person, saying that he'd love to rejoin Love of the Spectrum, but they haven't asked him back yet. Okay. Let's stop right there. They haven't asked him back yet. Yeah. It's between the production, to be honest with you. And I think that during the production crew, I think it's been revealed they're trying to focusing on young people now. Young millennials and Gen Zs. But not Gen X's. Sad. Apparently he isn't dating anyone at the moment and hasn't much since the show, but is still very much looking for his perfect match. He will someday. Only the Lord knows. Steve also appeared at the Executive Function podcast last July and gave a bit more of an in-depth look what he's been up to. He explained more about the impact that growing up neurodivergent had on him, as well as his love for spending lots of time playing pickleball. Seriously, can this man get any more wholesome? Steve also spoke to them after Love of the Spectrum, saying that going on the shows completely changed his life for the better. He explained, people recognize me when I walk down the street and everyone is so wonderful. They are accepting of who I am and seem to know and appreciate me for exactly who I am sometimes. Even more than I expected myself in the past. Wow. I have made new friends and caught up with old friends who recognize me in the show and reach out to me. Filming the show has given me more confidence to go on dates. I have seen a few of the dates that I met on the show, and I had to become friends with them. Meeting periodically for coffee and enjoying each other's company as friends. He continued, I'm sorry. He continued, now that I am connecting to all of these lovely people, they are helping me to embrace my neurodiversity even more. Maybe to another level. I am becoming more and more comfortable with being neurodivergent, and I am appreciating my differences for that. Is what makes me who I am. People seem to like me for who I am. I really love them. It goes in all of these directions. And it turns out that Steve is worth a whopping $18 million from his father's printing empire. So safe to say he's probably living his best life. Damn. And it's also has been revealed he became in his family's business of his family fortune when his dad passed away. I I was shocked. I was so shocked. First of all, my condolences to Steve and his father on this about his father on this difficult time. And thank God they gave him some cool fortune so he could spend it little by little bit until he's going to passing the torch. That was a great article for Steve. I wish it for all his life and all the best. But also, there's no controversials whatsoever. When I watched for the past 2 seasons of the show of this year, they show on the apartment, they show so many pictures and stuff. There is no stuffed animals. There's no American Girls dolls. There's no sword collections or something like that. Steve is Steve. And he is a completely unique and decent human being. And, he doesn't have any friends during the past. However, when the show came on, it definitely really changed his life. And it happens to everyone. Trying to treat Stevie a good celebrity. But as you may know, I'm very disappointed if this production crew decide they want him back, but they want to refuse to. And now they're going to focusing on young people now. And I really don't know what we're going to happen next. And it's still continuing in the future. But I just want to wish Steve all the best of luck and joy. And maybe someday I will definitely might going to interview him. But I think this is not his time to be back in the spotlight. But I think he might try to focusing on his private life and social. And that's a bottom line. So Steve, wherever you're ready to come back, let us know. However, if they want to do a spin-off based on you and the rest of these Gen X people with disabilities like autism. That might be a perfect fit for you. If you learn more about this channel, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to see my latest videos, and also like button as well. This is yours truly, Mr. Steven, saying Dolo by la Familia, and thank you for watching the Steven Factors, Love on the Spectrums, Bigger and Weirder. One love.